Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Our room floweth over. Actually, it's not floweth overing yet. It's still filling up. And that's what we're doing in this series of videos. Actually, I'm so grateful to all of you for putting up with me while I do this, because it makes it fun. I mean, there's nothing drearier than having to move hundreds of thousands of CDs from one place to the other place. At some point, I'm just going to have to hire some movers and pack it all up and do it that way and try and preserve the alphabetical order that these things are in, which is going to be just hell on wheels. It really is. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done at some point in the next few months, and then I'll have boxes and boxes here that we'll get to go through again, just like I did when I moved to this house originally upstairs, as we put all of this crap away. Oh, God. Anyway, we're moving backwards through the alphabet as I fill up the shelves, and they are filling up. You don't see it because these are the empty ones. You're looking what's going to be the letter A and B. The alphabet's going to start over on that side and work its way around the room till we get to where I'm sitting now, where we're in the letter S, and we're working our way through Shostakovich. Yeah. So let's see how much Shostakovich we have in this pile. This is a big clump. This is one of the greatest of all. Shostakovich 10 with Antrel of the Czech Philharmonic. It's mono. It was recorded in 1956. I mean, the symphony only came out in 1953 after the death of Stalin. It was brand new. And this unbelievably intense performance is still, I think, the best. I mean, I think it is. It's for me, it's the reference recording. I don't know about the rest of the world. I don't think the symphony really has a reference recording in terms of consensus, the way we've been talking about reference recordings. But God, this is the one to get. It also comes with Bolero under Ferenc Fricsay. This is a DG, The Great Years, 1956 was one of its great years. It was recorded not by Superphone, but by Deutsche Grammophon. And again, Fricsay doing Kodály's Galanta dances. But this was also coupled with the Stravinsky Violin Concerto on DG Originals, I think. Anyway, it's an unbelievably exciting and intense performance with a second movement that is 3 minutes and 51 seconds, which is Shostakovich's own tempo. I think this is the only one that really does it. There's another one. I forget which one it is, but the playing is incredible. Really, it's better than Leningrad and Ravinsky, I have to say. It just is. I mean, it's just as orchestrally speaking disciplined, but even more powerful and passionate, and wow. And of course, better recorded, even though it's mono. You gotta have it. Just gotta have it. And it may pop up here again too, who knows. I have a few of them spread out all over the place. Shostakovich Babi Yar. Yeah, with Kurt Mazur in the New York Phil, and Sergei Liferkus and Yevgeny Yevtushenko reciting his poetry beforehand. He does Babi Yar, the poem here. Actually, it's very interesting. I saw him do this. I saw these concerts, and I saw Yevtushenko. He made a living running around, attaching himself parasitically to the grave of Shostakovich, reading his poems before performances of this symphony. And he certainly took advantage of that. It's a very good performance, by the way, for an American one, and a German one, if you know what I mean. It's exciting, and it's well played and very well recorded. So yeah, it's good. That was a keeper. And this is numbers 9 and 15. Oh, yes. Numbers 9 and 5, pardon me. Number 5 is Mravinsky and the Leningrad. This is live from Prague. These are Czech radio broadcasts live from 1967 and 1981. Now, the 1967 is the Shostakovich Fifth. It's nothing special. It's a typical Mravinsky Shostakovich Fifth. But 9 was Zdeněk Kozler and the Czech Phil. Wow, is it great? And it's fabulously well recorded. It sounds amazing. And they've got a principal trumpet here who goes absolutely nuts in the finale. It's a wonderful Shostakovich 9. It's why I keep this. It's on Praga, right? The Chant du Monde, Praga, one of these French things, where they have 50 different label names, and I have no idea who really published it. And then we have Shostakovich 6, The Age of Gold Suite, Cacciatorian 3. This is part of the Stokowski RCA edition. And oh, it's a wonderful Shostakovich 6th. It's a wonderful Age of Gold Suite. It's a wonderful cacciatorian third, which is one of the most terrible pieces of music anybody ever wrote. What a screechy piece of noise. And Stokowski just revels in it, just reveling. You want to hear them revel. That's a revel thing. Shostakovich Symphony No. 1, excellent performance. Philly and Ormandy with the festive overture under Andrei Kostelanetz, and then Andrei Kostelanetz and his orchestra doing all kinds of Shostakovich little encore-y tidbits. And you don't usually think of Shostakovich as an encore-y tidbit kind of composer, but he did write a bazillion tidbits from his ballet suites and from his film scores and other things. And my God, it's wonderful how much stuff is here. You've got Gadfly stuff and Ballet Suite No. 1 and the suite from Moscow, Cheryomushki, and the polka from his Ballet Suite No. 2, and just an incredible selection of stuff that you can use, as an encore at your event, whatever it is. Anyway, it's delicious to have this, and it's a very good first symphony. So that's, Ormandy's Shostakovich was almost always fabulous. Oh yeah, this is Thomas Sanderling with Sergei Liferkus doing like all kinds of interesting stuff, songs and waltzes. Here we go. This was like a series where they were really trying to be cheap because they had Shostakovich's picture on all these, and they just stuck a sticker like right here on the front of the jewel box to tell you what it actually was. And these are wonderful pieces, these song cycles, the 4 verses of Captain Lebyadkin, the satires, this was orchestrated by Boris Tishenko. Some of these were orchestrated by Shostakovich himself. The 5 romances on words from Crocodile Magazine, which is a satirical magazine. The preface to the complete edition of my works and a brief reflection apropos this preface, orchestrated by Leonid, I can't even read his name, Desyatnikov. There we go. Originally for bass and piano, and then 8 waltzes from film music with Thomas Sanderling and the Russian Philharmonic. It's a wonderful, interesting disc. It really is. The song cycles are just great. Shostakovich did wonderful song cycles. Little 4 songs, 5 songs things. They're not very well known, and they deserve to be better known. And here it is. We talked about in the last video, Previn's Shostakovich 8th with the LSO for EMI, his first one, and here is the second one, which has slowed down a couple minutes in the big movements, unfortunately. Not to the good. It's still a good performance, don't get me wrong. But it's slow. It's just slow. I mean, you have to be really into the piece. And his first one had just more energy and fluid in its veins. But I keep it because I just do. Shostakovich 5, New York Phil and Bernstein. This is his second one, if I am not mistaken. Yes, this is the live in Tokyo one, I think. Is it? Yes, it is. And the chamber music for string orchestra with the Maito Chamber Orchestra under Rudolf Barschai, who did the arrangements of the string quartets for chamber orchestra. This is the 8th quartet. Now, this 5th is, I don't think it's as exciting as his first. It's not a bad performance, of course, and they play well, and the sonics are okay, a little dry, and it's Bernstein, so I hung on to it. Shostakovich 5, Leningrad, Mravinsky. I mean, there are better ones. These Erato recordings were very late in his career, and the orchestra wasn't as good, and he wasn't as good. Mravinsky didn't change much in terms of tempo. What happened is that discipline became a little more slack, and of course the sonics were always like live. You never knew what you were going to get. So it's also in a box. There's all this stuff, but I hang on to it just because it's Mravinsky and Leningrad, and it's important because of their connection to Shostakovich himself. But some of these are just not up to snuff. Shostakovich 5, Orchestra de la Suisse Romande Istvan Kertész. Okay, I mean, it's decent, it's good, it's solid. And the first piano concerto with John Ogden and the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields and Neville Mariner. Kertész, of course, this has all been boxed up. Actually, I don't know if this is in a box because there's Kertész in London and Kertész in Vienna, and I don't know if there's a Kertész in Switzerland. No, there's no box for that. So maybe this was like hanging out there, so I'm glad I have it. So, I'll listen to it again at some year, one of these years. Ballet Suites 1 through 4 with Yablonsky and the Russian Phil. Well, there is a Yarvi Chandos Ballet Suites disc, which is really the one to have. I mean, straight out, that's the one to have. But this is quite good. You know, Jablonski is a good conductor. He's a cellist, fine cellist. He's made several recordings with as a cellist. The Russian Philharmonic is not great, but they have the right edge, and he urges them on to exciting things. And so, yeah, why not? Then we've got Symphonies 1 and 15 with the Cincinnati Symphony and Jesus Lopez Cobos. Very beautiful performances. I like Lopez Cobos. He was an elegant conductor. The guy had class. You know, everything he did was very musical, you know, I mean, he's not always the most exciting guy out there, but it's good, solid music making, very well recorded. And I remember I had a very funny experience with this with my little nephew who is getting married next month. Congratulations, Ben and Skylar. Hi from Uncle Dave. But he was a little tyke. I was staying with my brother in Cleveland. And I was listening to this, and he walked up to me. He said, "Uncle David, what are you listening to?" And I said, "Oh, Shostakovich's 15th Symphony." And it's like, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's just music." So he said, "Can I listen to it?" I said, "Sure." And I gave him the headphones, and he put it on for about 30 seconds, and he looks at me quizzically and said, "How can that be music? Where are the words?" You see? Explains what we need to do in terms of music education. Of course, now he knows. But he was only like 3 or 4 at the time, and it was very funny. He was very cute. Shostakovich Cello Symphony and the Shostakovich Cello Concerto No. 1. London Symphony Orchestra, Seiji Ozawa. These are really good. I still think Rostropovich's performances with Ozawa were some of his best work because they weren't two conductors who were going to emote all over the place. Ozawa kept things in line, and Rostropovich was, you know, Rostropovich. And it made for a wonderfully combustible combination, I think. You know, there was flow and intensity but also, you know, musicality and balance. And they just did it well. They really did, these performances. It was like his best Dvorak piano concerto, too, which was also with Ozawa in Boston on Irato. These were beautiful, beautiful recordings. This is a Japanese one. See, I got it from Japan. Or Nippon, or whatever it's called. And we've got the Golden Age, complete ballet. Oh, this is hot with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra, Jose Cerebriere. Oh, yeah, baby. Fabulous piece. Absolutely fabulous piece. An amazing film score that nobody does. No, it's a ballet, pardon me. The film score is The New Babylon. They're sort of similar. I get them mixed up. Anyway, yes, the complete ballet. Shostakovich's best ballet. This is his first and greatest ballet, and it's like 2.5 hours, and it's serious, serious stuff, and there's lots of good music in it. We used the can from this in our Earquake World's Loudest Classical Music compilation on Ondine, and it was really exciting to hear. Wow, the way Segerstam did it was just amazing. Shostakovich 1 and 6, New York Phil and Bernstein. These are great performances, absolutely great performances. And Bernstein did 6 like nobody else. He took the second movement quite slowly and the finale quickly. So there was a progression of adagio, moderate tempo, fast tempo. Not exactly perhaps the way Shostakovich wrote it, but it worked. It really worked. And I really liked the slow tempo for that central scherzo because it sounds so Mahlerian the way Bernstein does it. These were just terrific performances, and 1 is one of the best, absolutely one of the best. Shostakovich 10, the Royal Liverpool Phil with Vasily Petrenko, the Naxos Shostakovich cycle, which is as great as anything anyone has ever done in this music ever. Exclamation point. And this is a fantastic performance. It's a duplicate. I have the complete cycle upstairs, both as single discs and in a box, and I have another box somewhere else, and I have it on my phone. I have it everywhere. It's just marvelous with the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic, proving that orchestras of the theoretical second tier can play as well as orchestras of the first tier when they are galvanized by a conductor who really makes them play. And that's a fact. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. We're getting there. We are getting there. Take care.